Hello and welcome to episode 172 of
The Eldritch Podblast,
a social commentary D&D podcast where we talk about the social aspects of D&D.
We give advice to Dungeon Masters old and new.
And most importantly, we believe in creating an inclusive and safe and welcoming space in the TTRPG community.
So if that sounds good to you, welcome in.
Hey, come on in. Hey,
You didn't say who you were.
I'm Margaret.
And I'm Jack.
You know what? In that very second, I remembered that we had a new intro.
Yeah.
And I just started reeling it off incorrectly.
Just ripped it.
I just ripped it. Yeah, I rip it.
Repeat.
Hi, hello.
What's happening?
Hey, we updated the set.
We did. We said, we got the unit. I think you saw the unit last time.
No, they
did.
On Thursday, they just saw the couch.
On Sunday.
Oh, on stream?
Because I did it on Saturday. I did it on Saturday for Sunday's episode. Didn't I?
No.
Huh. Yeah, it was just the couch, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just the couch.
Huh.
Yeah, the episode that went out last night for us. Yeah.
No, you're wrong.
Oh my gosh, no. So yeah, last time you saw us, you saw literally just the couch.
Yeah.
We had nothing else set up. Thank you everyone who complimented that set. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. And now, this is still not the finished set, but it's very close, I would say.
It's getting there. Might put some stuff up on the walls.
Yeah.
In that space up there and that space up here.
Yeah.
But the way that the camera angle is, I don't think we have too much of the wall anymore.
Yeah.
Because we're looking down a little bit.
Yeah, it's more like there,
Yeah,
I suppose. But yeah, like this is obviously the stuff on here will be changed out as we go. But this was just kind of stuff that we had, and I think it looks great. I'm really happy.
I think it looks fantastic. Yeah.
We actually look like a professional podcast now.
We've got stuff that actually, people could look at it and be like, hey, that's the DMG. Hey, that's the
new... Hey, oh my gosh.
That's the new Player's Handbook.
It's Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh my god. Is this a Dungeons & Dragons podcast?
It's the Dungeons & Dragons. Hey, look, do we have some World of Warcraft stuff? Yeah. Do we have my Neopets tarot cards? Also, yeah. Is there Ned from 21 Pilots? Yes, There also is. Is there a Neopet? Yes. Is that all my campaign notebooks? Yes.
Is there a large scrungly dog?
Is there a large Scrungle McDungle?
A large
Scrungle McDungle. Yes, there certainly is.
Certainly is.
He couldn't get on the couch last time because there was something in the middle.
There.
But now, I don't even know if you can see him, to be so honest with you.
I sat down and they put this on me, and he was like, I'm in.
I'm on. So I don't know if you can see him, to be honest with you.
You might be able to see him a little bit.
Yeah, but he's right here. He's my sweet Scrungle McDungle.
He's downstairs licking this leg.
Yes. So hopefully...
tell him off.
Hopefully everyone's happy with the outcome of this.
Yeah.
You get to see you have permanent dog cam as long as he stays here.
Yeah.
And I think the set looks really good.
Yeah, I like it. We got
Dr. Jones' Dictionary of Dinosaurs.
We got Delver's Guide over there as well.
Beast World. Save 10% on Dr. Jones' Dictionary of Dinosaurs at Paleo Games. 10% off with code EPB10.
EPB10.
EPB. Yeah, I'm happy with it. We're thinking of painting this back wall like a really dark grey, so the colours like stand out more, and like the shadows aren't that much of an issue, because the shadows are an issue. But hey, I'm happy with it. I think it looks really good. I'm proud of it.
The books might not stand out as much.
Yeah. Look, the books are precariously.
We've got some book stands on the way.
Yeah, they're precariously they're balanced on the wall.
Tilted up against the wall.
And this thing, the couch is pressed right up against this.
Yeah.
So every time we move...
We sit down too hard.
They all move.
And you better believe I like to throw myself down on the couch. When I sit down, I want to throw...
Oh.
I swear.
Oh, no!
I swear.
I keep going to look for the timer over there.
Timer's over here now, baby.
Timer's over there, right? Yeah.
You better believe I throw myself onto this settee.
Yes.
You better believe I'm launching myself on.
You do it everywhere, though. You throw yourself everywhere.
I don't want to lower myself down.
You just want to be there.
I want to be there.
You want to be the destination.
Lowering myself down seems like too much work.
Touche.
I just want to throw myself on.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair.
I do.
I understand that.
But I do compromise the set most of the time that I do it.
I laughed too loud and I upset my dog. I'm sorry, honey.
Oh, he's such a baby.
Oh, he's such a baby.
Oh, he's such a pudding.
Had the vet round again yesterday.
Yeah.
Big round of steroids, big round of antibiotics, huh?
He's got an infection in his leg.
He actually had to get a steroid injection.
Yeah.
Which he was so good about.
Oh, yeah, he's always
so
brave.
Good.
She was like, do you want to just hold him in case he bites me?
We were like, he's not going to bite you.
Ain't biting anyone.
No way.
This dog's never been...
Well,
other dogs.
Yeah, he
Very
certainly
much so.
would. He
Humans?
certainly would. No. Other
Other
dogs? Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, so he's all right. He's just, I think he's a little bit EP because of it, to be honest with you. We got his new food
old.
today, and he's old. He's ancient. We got his new food through today, so everything's coming up bully.
Everything's coming up bubbing.
Everything's coming up bully beanie. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty well. How are you?
Good. I don't. Well, there is. Oh my goodness gracious!
I'm on the very tail end of my sickness. You may be able to hear it in my voice slightly.
Yeah.
My right nostril is blocked, so I sound a little nasally.
Yeah, you don't sound nasally.
So yeah, I was. Oh man, yes. So on Tuesday. No, it wasn't Tuesday. Yeah, on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
I started to feel
Really
a little bit ill. I woke up on Wednesday. I had to cancel D&D because I was like, I was probably no, I wasn't. By the end of Wednesday, I was.
It's like you get much worse in the evening.
Yeah, I was feeling pretty minging. But my thing is, these days, as I'm older, like that illness inconvenienced me.
Yes.
I was not happy. I was inconvenienced. I couldn't play D&D. So if somebody turned up to D&D sick, and then made me sick, I would be like, "What are you doing?" So I don't ever want to make anybody sick because it annoys me so much when I'm sick.
I agree.
So I had to cancel D&D, which was a bit of a pain, but we're back on next week.
Yes.
But I'm on the tail end of it now. I'm feeling much better. But yesterday, because the vet was supposed to come Sunday, and then on Monday, and they couldn't come because they had a problem with the van. So they were like, "Hey, we'll come on Thursday, and we'll come." First thing.
We're coming first
and
thing.
we were like, hey,
don't you worry, we're coming first thing for you.
You don't have to come first thing. They were like, no, we're coming
first thing. We're coming for you.
We're going to make it up to you.
Yeah, don't you worry, we're coming first thing. We'll put you top of the list.
The vet will be in at 9, and we were like,
oh, no, don't worry about it.
Yesterday, woke up still ill with not a large amount of sleep.
Yeah.
But today I feel much better.
Yeah. And then we had a nap, and I wasn't on board for the nap, but then I felt left out, so I came and joined in the nap. And do you ever do that thing where you need to wake up and you're just about awake? Oh, where's he going? You're just about awake and you're trying.
Did you see him nudge? He like walked over, my arm was there and he went,
get out of the way.
Get out of the way.
Old
man.
Oh, I don't think you can see him anymore. It's all right. Where you're trying to wake up, but your body is numb and you can't move. And I was like having to like shock myself awake. And I was so asleep. I kept going, trying to wake up.
I was down, like the nap was my idea, but Margaret goes to sleep. And when she goes to bed, she's asleep like, she's gone.
Yep.
Like lights are out.
Sometimes it's like 4 hours, but most of the time I'm asleep.
But the thing is, usually it's like you fall. If you have trouble sleeping, you fall asleep, then you wake up, and then it's in the middle of the night you struggle. Yeah. But when you go to bed, you are out. Yeah. You're just out. Whereas when I fall asleep, it's over. I'm not getting up.
yeah, but falling
asleep is the issue. Yeah. So when it comes to a nap, and I'm like, I'll give myself an hour. 45 minutes of that will be me trying to fall asleep. So I fell asleep, and then suddenly your alarm went off, and I was like...
Me, fast asleep. Me, didn't want a nap, fast asleep. So I was so asleep, I literally was paralyzed in my body and couldn't wake up even though I wanted to. It was horrible. And then I had to sit up to make myself sit up, and I was going...
I came back upstairs with 2 coffees, because we didn't have a coffee when we woke, because we knew we were going to go for a nap. So I came back upstairs with two coffees, and I handed you one, and you were like... I'm so EP. Like soying in the bed like an apparition.
I was. 2 things. Well, actually 3 things. But oh my gosh, you hit another September goal.
Of course you did.
To be honest, by the time that this comes out, September's over. By the time this comes out, yeah. So well, September is over. I have no idea if you've hit the second stretch goal.
No.
I wouldn't put it past you.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Just to give you some clarity, we set the original goal to 5,000 XP, and these are like the values and everything like that. We wanted to be able to include, because y'all love bits, by the way.
You do like sending bits.
Y'all love bits. We wanted to make sure that we were including every bit, we were including every sub, we were including every dono, everything, right?
Yeah, everything added to the XP bar, no matter how big, no matter how small.
Yeah.
No matter how you wanted to contribute.
It all added.
Everything went to the same place.
Yeah. And you hit 5,000. in the first 10 days, which is wild.
We were on like the 13th of September, and we'd already hit the 5,000 XP goal.
Which is wild. So then we set up some stretch goals, which took us to 7,000. We were like 2,000 more. That sounds
2,000 more.
2,000. We were like 2,000 more. Not gonna get hit.
Yeah, we were
no way.
We were like, if we get these, it would be amazing. Yeah. But like, none of it's mandatory or anything like that. But we know when we offer out a goal, a lot of it is more like something to look forward to. You guys smashed that and were like, right, stretch goals, please. We gave you some stretch goals and you're like, right, some more stretch goals,
all right,
please.
Next, please. So the stretch goals were, I can't even remember what they were. They were bean map. You're doing your map.
We're doing bean map. We're doing tarot card reading. We're doing
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldy G's.
What was the one after? What was the first one? I can't even remember.
Cozy Game
Night. So, again, I'm sorry that you're getting this after the fact. The second stretch goals are Valorant Customs, where Jack is the mouse and I am the keyboard.
Not Valorant Customs, Valorant Unrated.
Valorant Unrated.
Where am I the mouse and you're the keyboard?
We'll probably switch it out.
I think me being
the keys. Yes, and me being the mouse will set us up for the most success.
We're gonna have to play something that doesn't have a huge amount of coordination with its abilities. Because if I'm like, hey, I want to blind over here, you have to point in the right direction. Oh my god.
And then at so that was 7,500, 8,000. We're gonna play Elden Ring.
We're gonna do Elden Mig.
Elden Mig.
We're gonna do Elden Mig.
Elden Mig.
Something that's been. I think there's a lot of people in the community who like the idea and the fantasy of Elden Ring.
Yes.
But don't want to play it because it's rock hard.
Naturally. Yeah. So, me, by the way.
Yeah. So I think they would enjoy watching you, and also like watching somebody who's never played a Souls game is good for multiple reasons. Yeah. First of all,
funny.
Potentially a little bit of comedy value.
Hey, funny.
Potentially a little bit of comedy value, but two, because when you do play it for long enough and you do get used to it, it is really good to see somebody get there.
Conquer it. Yeah.
So
that's it. I have no idea if we've hit these.
And do you want to know what? If these didn't get hit, I wouldn't be surprised. We've got 2 streams.
Yeah, we got 2. To be fair, it's the 2 streams where for every 5 gifted, Twitch gifts an extra 1.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that tonight?
Yeah, that's tonight at the time of filming. So we've just come off the back of the weekend. So, hey, next time we see you on Sunday, we probably still won't have the full... next time we see you on Thursday, we probably still won't have the full picture because we've only filmed Friday and Sunday, which is when we stream. But we'll let you know. So, yes, please come on over. Hey, this is our schedule.
There's a big old schedule.
This is a schedule for, I think this includes some of the first stretch goals, pretty much everything in the original goals,
that we haven't done yet.
We've
done a lot of them already.
Yes, apart from the cooking stream and the... What was the other one that we didn't have down?
The movie night.
And the movie night.
But the movie night will actually be quite easy to slot in.
It will be.
Because
it will be. Yeah.
We talked to some of our friends at Careful Cantrip.
Yeah.
Dave does a lot of watching movies with like the community and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says he's never ran into problems. And loads of other creators don't run into problems.
Yeah.
So he reckons we're right to rip it, and I trust Dave.
Yeah, I trust Dave. I trust Dave 100%. Yeah, absolutely.
We're just gonna rip it. So we need to find out what we want to watch.
Yes. We'll put a poll up in Discord and we'll ask on stream as well. But I think the most important date on this list is probably what most people would be interested in is watching us live stream a 2-player D&D game.
Yeah.
Jack will DM. For me, it is going to be based in the same campaign setting that our current campaign is in the city of Osrende.
Yeah.
And that is going to be October 20th, I think. If I'm wrong, sorry. I think it's October the 20th.
It is October the 20th, yeah.
So
if you like the look of any of these things coming up, or just want to see what stream is about, because I know there's a lot of you who just sort of watch the podcast and don't interact with the streams, which obviously no problem at all. But if you've ever wanted to think about what the stream is about and like the look of any of these, come and check us out.
Yeah.
We stream every Sunday, every Friday, and every other Tuesday.
Yes, we do. So
if you want to see anything on here, come check it out.
Yes, indeed. And the 2-player TTRPG is October the 20th. Indeed. And then the last thing before we get into topic is I'm going to try and keep this as brief as I can.
Yeah, we don't want to spend too much time on this because we've been doing this for, almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we've said it since day one, but recently we've had an influx of maybe new people to the podcast, or maybe some videos have reached a little further and a little wider than maybe our usual ones. But we want to be very, very clear here. In this community, we take care of each other. We look after each other. We care about each other. Doesn't matter where we came from. Doesn't matter what came before. Doesn't matter what walk of life. Doesn't matter who you are. Doesn't matter anything. We care about each other. We understand each other. And we look out for each other.
We respect each other and we advocate for each other.
Now, if you don't want to do those things, you do not belong here.
Mm-mm.
If you want to advocate for any racism, homophobia, sexism, transphobia, anything like that, where you're going to marginalize a community, where you're going to be hateful towards somebody who doesn't look, sound, or understand you in any way, you don't belong here. I don't want you here. Please go away. Unsubscribe. I do not care. You are not welcome here. You will never be welcome here. And after all of this that I've said this, and you're still here and you're commenting, thanks for the analytics, but I'm going to delete it because I'm just not having it, okay? If you want to try and devil's advocate, you want to try and argue for or against any hateful behavior, I do not care about you. I do not want you here. You do not belong here. Go away.
If you refer to what we're doing on this podcast as woke, if you are referring to people who suffer with mental health issues and you're calling them mentally disabled, you're saying that these people don't deserve to be heard. If you hear the word or you see the word trigger
and
in
that
a thumbnail
you?
And that upsets you, you know what? I actually don't even care if you do the self-reflecting. I don't care.
It's not my job, mate.
It's not my responsibility. I'm past the point of caring. What I care about is you watching right now, who are exactly the same as us. And the thing is, that's the point. You're not exactly the same as us. We're all different.
That's
and
the point.
That's the joy. But we all believe in the same thing. And that is keeping each other safe.
What it is.
And welcome and inclusive.
Is community.
100%.
We care about a community.
And I think it's pathetic.
It is. It's pathetic. You're pathetic.
These people who are alone, who are lonely, who are mad, because they can't hold down a friendship. They can't hold down a D&D group. They don't have community because they're hateful.
Yeah.
And until they actually rectify that, they're not going to have anyone around them. No. It's pathetic. Individuals, and they are individuals, coming in here to this community where we are so strong. There are so many of us who care for each other. Literally, you could literally leave a comment down below saying, "Hey, I'm feeling lonely today." I know
100%.
There will be people immediately wanting to try and help you. That you
join the Discord. Hey, come and talk to us.
In our streams, people come in and they're going through something. People just come in and say, "Hi, I'm new." They got bombarded with love.
Because this is a community where we care about each other.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's pathetic. It's actually kind of insulting that you come here and you think that your voice of hatred
will ever be heard.
And you know, there's something to be said about the fact we're talking about it. But you know, when things like this happen, and
it's just a refresher.
It's just a refresher.
Hey, just in case you don't know,
you
don't belong here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And look, I've lived my entire life thinking like this, acting like this, trying to be the best person I can try and be, and your stupid little YouTube comment ain't going to change anything.
Oh gosh,
you're wasting your fucking time, mate.
Yeah.
So take that comment, fuck off somewhere else. You don't belong here.
Yeah, absolutely. And the most important thing to us is protecting you.
Yeah, 100%.
Like that is the most important thing, protecting our community and making sure these stupid fucking voices don't get past this shield
They
wall,
don't come in here.
Know?
They aren't welcome here. They don't belong here. They never will. We love our community.
Mm-hmm.
We love what we've built here.
Yep.
It's amazing.
Yep.
We look out for each other.
Yep.
We take care of each other.
And
that's what it will always be.
We don't have to agree on everything. In fact, that's the variety of life, right? Being able to understand or even just listen to other people's opinions and other people's experiences is what makes you as a person like grow, in my
100%.
opinion. And all of that to say, thank you so much, everyone here who you are willing to listen.
100%.
You are willing to grow. You don't care what the circumstances of someone's life are.
Nope.
You couldn't give less of a fuck because we're all equal and we all need to make sure that we're looking out for each other. And I'm so sorry to anyone watching here that you've been made to feel bad, less than, not included, left out, marginalized because of who you are. I'm so sorry.
It doesn't matter what color your skin is. It doesn't matter how you identify. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter what country you're from.
It doesn't matter who you love.
As long as you care about the people around you, wouldn't treat anyone differently for any of those things, then you're welcome here.
Yeah. And you know what? Even if, let's say, that was you at some point, because that was me. Hey, that was me at one point. At one point, I was a horrible, hateful little fucking bitch.
Yeah, so was I. When I was
horrible.
Younger, yeah, 100%.
And I've had to work really hard to change, and you have to want to change. Yeah. And as long as you have that spark of wanting, that spark of maybe even curiosity to see how the other side lives, you know, that's all that matters. But at the same time, it is not our responsibility to teach you that.
No.
It is not Black people's responsibility to teach you why what you said is racist.
Queer people's. It's not trans people's.
No one's responsibility.
It's your responsibility.
It is.
And if you don't want to learn, you don't belong here. If you want to educate yourself, stick around and see what we have to say.
Yeah, 100%. Just had to say that.
Yeah, just had to say it.
Yeah.
Because every now and then, I think because, you know, like we set our stall out very early on this podcast.
Yes. Yeah, it's good to check in.
We've said it from day one.
Yeah, it's good to check in.
I know that some people maybe don't know that, and some people are like, when did you guys get political? Literally since day one.
Yeah, literally since day one.
And we'll never hide it. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else.
Yeah. And, you know, again, this is off the back of our unpopular opinions video.
Yeah.
I put, I think the thumbnail was something like,
some with
session
triggers
zeros are boring and I don't want to learn your triggers. And, you know, I didn't foresee what that was going to bring. Stupidly, I know.
Mean, like, but we've done so many opinions like that in the past, and we've not had those things come in.
And you know what? There was a part of me where I was like, to avoid these comments coming in and someone potentially seeing them and being upset or triggered by them, I should change the thumbnail. But then I was like, well, no, why the fuck would I change the thumbnail? Because there could be someone who has maybe never had a session zero.
Yeah.
Someone who wants to run a session zero. Someone who needs a session zero. Someone who just wants someone to hear, hey, I don't like spiders in my game.
Yeah.
Right? And they see that is an unpopular opinion and they go, maybe I've been made to feel
maybe I've been made to feel like the outcast, like somebody who's doing something wrong.
Yeah, so, you know, no, I'm not changing the thumbnail.
No, I'm not changing anything for you. Like, literally anything in my life, I'm never changing. And do you know what? I do it out of spite just because I hate you that much.
So yes, that's probably the quarterly check-in.
Yeah.
Then
and we'll do it again.
Yeah.
If we get an influx of people like that.
Certainly.
Just to let them know where they stand here,
because
which isn't with us.
We need you to know that we care about you.
Yeah.
And we're going to do everything we can to advocate for you and create a space that is safe for you, because God knows some people don't have that, and you should.
You should. Yeah. And we will be that for you.
Indeed. Indeed.
Anyway,
all right.
Before we get on to topic.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't. All goes a million miles to help the video. Thank you so much, everybody who does that every single time. It means so much to us. Check out our Patreon in the description. You can get some exclusive content down there. You can get some other perks in the Discord and things like that as well. Go and check out some merch. Patrons get 10% off at www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk.
Oh, we need your D&D confessions. Oh my goodness. Yes. We're going to be doing a new segment on here and potentially on Twitch where we read out your D&D confessions or scandals. If you have ever, fudge to roll.
If you've ever kind of actually been the bad guy.
You've actually kind of been a little rat.
And you want to get it off your chest. Dungeon Master or player, anonymous or not, completely up to you. Send them in.
Send them in. We will, when we get enough, we will compile them into an episode. And give us your D&D confessions and scandals. I think that'll be a really fun episode.
Yeah.
And with that, shall we get into topic?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams,
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
We are doing this month on the Reddit. So this episode, if you haven't seen what this is before, this is the top for the past month. So for September, sorry.
Did you say September?
I did. Yeah. I have brain rot. I have internet brain rot. Yeah. There's sometimes on voice chat where I call our friends chat.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, and there is. Hey, is it as mortifying as it sounds? Yes.
Is it as embarrassing as it sounds?
Yes. Hey, yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, we go through the top posts on the D&D Reddit.
Yeah.
We always We always
end on
an artist or a small business, and these two are artists.
Me when I art.
One of them's a map maker, so I suppose a business.
Still art,
and yeah, this is just a big mix of everything.
Yeah.
So shall we get into it?
Absolutely.
This first one is titled, "My Paladin broke his oath and now the entire party is calling me unfair."
No!
One of my players is a min-maxed Blue Dragonborn Sorkadin build, Oath of Glory / Draconic Sorcerer.
Oh no, not the Witch Knight.
Since he is only playing this sort of character for the damage potential and combat effectiveness, he does not care as much about the roleplay implications of playing such a combination of classes.
That's okay.
Anyway, in one particular session, my players were trying to break an NPC out of prison.
Mm-hmm.
To plan ahead and gather information, they managed to capture one of the town guard generals and then interrogate him. The town the players are in is governed by a tyrannical baron who does not take kindly to failure. So, fearing the consequences of revealing classified information to the players, the general refused to speak. The paladin had the highest charisma and a +6 to intimidation, so he decided to lead the interrogation and did some pretty messed up stuff to get the captain to talk, including, but not limited to, torture, electrocution, and manipulation.
Electrocution?
Welcome to D&D, everyone!
Hey.
I ruled that for an Oath of Glory paladin, he had done some pretty inglorious actions, and I let him know after the interrogation that he felt his morality break and his powers slowly fade away. Both the player and the rest of the party were pretty upset about this. The player asked me why I did not warn him beforehand that his actions would cause his oath to break, while the rest of the party decided to argue about why his actions were justified and should not break the Oath of Glory, referencing to the tenets mentioned in the subclass. I decided not to take back my decision to remind their players that their decisions have story repercussions and they can't just get away scot-free from everything because they're the heroes. All my players have been pretty upset by this and have been calling me an unfair DM on multiple occasions. Our next session is this Saturday, and I'm considering going back on my decision and giving the paladin his oath and powers back. It would be great to know other people's thoughts on the matter and what I should do. There is an edit that I think gives some clarifying information that I think is actually important.
Go for it.
Edit for those asking, I did not completely depower my paladin just for these actions. I have informed him that what he has done is considered against his oath, and he will get time to atone for his decision and reclaim the oath before he loses all of his paladin powers.
Yeah, so what I was going to say is, like, sometimes when, maybe, I don't know if this is the first time the paladin's done this, but maybe there's like a flicker, like an almost like an on and off switch.
Yeah.
And it's just like for a moment you feel those like powers leave you.
Yeah.
They try and cast a spell. They try and do something with their what's it called that they get? The clerics get as well.
Channel divinity.
They try and do something with channel divinity and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
But then they feel it come back and it's just like maybe your actions this time weren't. And it's like, I remember when Matt did something like this for Ford. Like, Ford maybe didn't do something that his patron wanted, so it did leave him for a second, and then it came back, and then, you know, like, these like things sort of happened to him. And it's like, you now know exactly where you stand.
Yeah.
And if you want to continue, you can.
Indeed.
But just know that it could leave you permanently.
Yes.
So
yes.
it's like a warning shot sort of thing.
That's it. And you know what? I think without that clarification that no, it wasn't everything, and they have a chance to atone for it. Yeah. Like, I think just simply stripping the paladin of being a paladin
one wrong thing
is not the right thing to do, in my opinion.
Like, if the paladin's doing the wrong thing and being a nasty person or something, or doing something like actually genuinely evil, not saying that this act was or anything like that, I don't know the nuance of the situation, but if they do, you can't just be like, okay, your paladin stuff's gone. It's just like, you need the warning.
Yeah.
You need the, hey, just so you know, take it away for a second, give it back. But
I agree. Like literally, but the only thing I'm confused about is OP is like, the group was like, you should have warned us. And I suppose this maybe was the warning, but potentially because things weren't immediately given back, it felt like it wasn't the warning. It felt like it was the permanent thing. And, I think this is a really interesting conversation around, OP is like, they didn't consider the roleplay implications. And I think it can be different for everyone, right? I think just because you're a paladin doesn't mean that you have to be this. Even an Oath of Glory. He's going. He's fallen. He's gone.
He might come back.
Doesn't necessarily mean that
you want to be glorious all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's the thing. It's just like, when we take the subclass like so literally. Are you coming up? When we take the subclass so literally, as it's like, oh, as soon as we do something unglorious, we lose our subclass. Or like, when we don't take vengeance, we lose our subclass or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, when we don't do exactly what our subclass is like designed for, or the theme of our subclass is designed for, we immediately lose our powers.
Yeah.
It's just like, sometimes you just want the subclass and don't care about the tenants.
Totally.
It's like, hey, I'm a paladin, but like, I literally just get my strength from my family or the other players around me.
Totally.
It's like, we don't have to play it like...
You don't have to put them in a box if we don't want to.
If we don't want to,
yeah. And, the thing is, I actually think the storyline of a paladin breaking their oath, becoming an oath breaker, like, I think that is an option here, becoming an oath breaker, right? Because you're still a paladin, but a different type of paladin, narratively. But then again, does that person want that if they really just wanted to be the Oath of Glory paladin?
They just wanted to be the Glory paladin for a certain reason or something like that.
For the min-max build. I think this brings up a conversation of, was there a session 0?
Yeah.
Was there like a conversation had with the player beforehand around, well, like, do you want any of this? Like, do you want to focus on any of these paladin things?
Yeah, these actual paladin tenants and stuff like that.
Yeah. I think this honestly is just a miscommunication between what the DM thinks that should happen and what the player wants, right?
And like, a lot of people just pick paladin because they want to smite stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
They don't care about anything else.
Absolutely. Listen, I was considering multi-classing paladin just for that.
Yeah.
Granted, there was a thematic reason for my swords bard to do so.
Yeah.
Right?
Which was good, but you were going to do it. You were going to do that.
I was probably going to do it anyway, and I was going to. I was going to find a reason, but I didn't need to have a reason.
Yeah.
I don't think, at least.
Yeah. So I think, like, I think the Dungeon Master's taking it really literally.
Yes.
Like, hey, you're a paladin of this, and you're doing things that aren't very this. And then the player might just be like, hey, I just want it because it's good.
Yeah, I think the DM's setting parameters here of importance and things that are relevant without consulting the player on it first, and that's probably why it seemed like such a shock, right? But I think as long as they've given the powers back and they've just gone, hey, look,
it's a warning.
This is a warning. Like, there's your god or whatever is feeling a certain way about this. If that's how they play it,
You gotta live your life by the code.
Yeah, I actually think that's a really interesting story beat.
Yeah,
I really like that. But I think the execution has been done maybe not correctly here.
Yeah. And you can test the waters with, like, I think when having a paladin or a warlock or a cleric, you want to really get to know what the player wants out of that relationship.
What their relationship is.
They might not care at all.
100%.
They might actually want a backstory completely separate to like the patron, to the god.
Absolutely.
And that's just how they're able to adventure.
Yeah.
And you just got to find out how much that matters to them.
Totally. And those are really important things.
I agree.
Especially when, as the DM wants to hear, when OP really wants to run a narrative-based story, you have to find this information out before you start pulling the strings, Unless your players explicitly said, I don't mind, do whatever you want with it.
Then go for it.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
100%.
I think that's just a lack of communication, honestly.
And I think it's also just a miscommunication in what people want out of the game.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I totally agree.
That happens all the time.
Yeah, totally. It's okay to have someone who plays slightly differently in your game. Do we like the inclusion of the dog?
Oh, they will.
I know you will.
They will.
I know you will. So this next one, unpopular opinion. I don't want to hear your triggers. Sorry. Unpopular opinion.
Get out.
Min-maxers are usually better role players. You see it everywhere. The false dichotomy that a person can either be good at role play or interested in delving into the game's mechanics. Here is some mind-blowing news.
Oh my god, my mind is blown.
This duality does not exist. Yes, some people are mainly interested in either roleplay or mechanics, just like some people are mainly there for the lore or social experience. But can we please stop talking like having an interest in making a well-performing character somehow prevents someone from also being interested in roleplay? The most committed players strive to do their best at both, and an interest in the game naturally means getting better at both. We need to stop saying, especially to new players, that this is some kind of choice that you will inevitably have to make for yourself or for your table. The only real dichotomy is high effort and low effort.
True.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more.
Now, I don't think I agree with min-maxers are usually better role players. I think that's so very subjective and different.
Yeah, it's like that's just as wrong of an opinion as they aren't.
I completely agree. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's relevant. But what OP has said, oh my gosh, especially about we need to stop telling new players you pick one or the other. I completely agree. I think that is such a... You see, it's such a common thing. You see it all the time. In the same way for DMs, it's like there's a secret sauce. It's like you're either role play based or you're combat based,
and that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
I love both. Like I absolutely live, laugh, love for both. I love telling the stories as a dungeon master, and when I get into a player, I can't wait to min-max my character.
Yeah, same.
I love having really tough, hard combats.
Same.
Like that's what really, really matters to me as a dungeon master. But also, I just love telling a story. And oh my god!
Let me stretch my legs while he's not here. Oh my gosh! Oh goodness!
Oh my god!
Oh man! Oh
yeah!
Oh,
I love telling a story with my combats.
Yeah.
But I love making my combats rock hard because like my players enjoy that as well. They love like something that's really going to test them and make them think and stuff like that. So I remember once I was trying to help somebody like pick a new class. They were new to D&D, and I was like, "Oh, so you're a druid?" Usually, what I do is I try and find something that has decent wisdom because we were using the actual like stats of the character.
Yes.
Like you couldn't like take this and then put a +2, +1 wherever you wanted.
Yes.
So I was like, "Hey, you're playing a druid. You probably want to find something with decent wisdom or something like that because that'll help you with your build."
Yeah.
And then the other two people I was playing with were like, no, don't do that. Just play whatever you want. And I was like, I get what you're saying. But you're not helping a new player, like, be proficient with their character.
Oh, yeah. Like, I also think but maybe I'm just speaking from personal experience, you know, and I'm biased because of this. Like, I think the whole, no, just build the character you want. Like, don't worry about stats, put whatever. Like,
I don't think you're helping that player.
No, I don't think that is actually helpful. And don't get me wrong, you have D&D is
a trial by fire.
Yeah, it's learning by experience,
100%.
right? He's coming back in. We're gonna have to move our legs.
No, it's all right.
I think you have to play and potentially play. And the thing is, there's no wrong way to play wrong.
Mess it up.
Potentially play with a build that doesn't work to be like, oh, that didn't work because of XYZ. I'll always talk about this. My first character was a Berserker Barbarian, a 5e Berserker Barbarian, by the way.
5e Berserker Barbarian, who was a tiefling. So +2 to charisma, +1 to dex.
And we used standard array, and there was no guidance for where my stats had to be because it was very much like, yeah, just put them wherever you want. It's fine. So I literally, at level 14, I had a +2 in strength. Like, you know, it was bad. But again, that's not my DM's fault. That's actually no one's fault. That is very much someone just not wanting to tell me what to do, which I fully understand. Yeah. But I think, and you know, now I know why that's bad.
There's a difference between telling somebody what to do and guiding them with a bit of advice.
Yeah,
hey, like, oh, you're playing a druid? Hey, yeah, probably pick something that has a +1 or a +2 to wisdom.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Hey, here's all of the things. It's just like, but the thing is, you know, I would just say pick what you like the look of and then put your stats where you want.
Yeah.
But that to me is a dungeon master.
No, yeah, totally.
But
totally.
yeah, so I think that there's nothing that stops a min-maxer enjoying roleplay.
No.
There's nothing that somebody enjoys roleplay, really diving into the mechanics and building a strong character.
Not at all.
Like you said, the dichotomy of it, it doesn't exist. Yes, there are some people who just enjoy one aspect more than the other, but it doesn't mean they can't enjoy the other aspect.
And they can't
might
take
just not
part
enjoy
in
it as much
and excel at it as well. You know, like I agree. Like an interest in the game means naturally you will get. I don't even necessarily know if better is the right word. I think just more knowledgeable about them, so you can make decisions informed decisions based on what you actually want.
I agree.
Right? You know, I'm a min-maxer, always have been. Always will be.
Apart from my first character.
Apart from my first character. But because
that was because you had no clue what you were doing.
Exactly. And because of that, I've moved completely in the opposite direction.
Yeah, now you just love building really strong characters. I love
building really strong characters. Hey, I played a Moon Druid Barbarian. That's all you need to know about me. That's all you need to know about me.
Actually unkillable.
Oh, she was unkillable. Yeah, absolutely unkillable. That's all you need to know. But at the same time, I am so incredibly involved in the roleplay.
Yeah, gosh.
I like... you know, I've never understood it's one or the other. It certainly is not. And it's okay, by the way, if you want it to be one or the other.
Yeah,
that's
if you
okay.
just really enjoy the mechanical aspect of the game and just want to build strong characters and smash stuff and don't care about the story, there's tables out there for you. And the other way around, there's games that probably don't even have combats. Like I remember there was a submission that we had on stream the other day where somebody was like, we haven't had a combat in over a year because my players just don't care.
Just don't care.
They just care more about the story.
100%. And that's fine.
And the fact that you as a dungeon master can read that and be like, I'm just going to give them what they want.
Totally.
Great.
Yeah, absolutely. Totally. Yeah, I completely agree with this.
Couldn't agree more.
I 100%.
I don't agree with the part.
No. You know, min-max is usually better role players. That's irrelevant. That's simply not correct.
That's just not true.
Yeah,
it's just as not true as the other statements.
I completely agree. But yeah, I agree. You there's a duality, and I agree. The real dichotomy is high effort and low effort, which I agree. Yeah, totally.
And there's nothing wrong with low effort. You just want to turn up and just hang out with your mates. No one cares.
Yeah,
go for it.
No one cares. Yeah. Like you know, as long as that's what's been agreed upon and everyone understands that's the situation.
If you want to play a low effort, you don't want to buy a table because you won't get anything out of the game.
Certainly. But it's. You know, oh my gosh, who would have thought? You play the game however you want to play the game.
No, Margaret, don't be stupid.
Can you move this foot?
No.
Please.
Where to?
Just away. There.
No, I want to touch you with my foot.
What if underneath we have no socks on and our toes are like this? What do you think?
Comment down below what you think about
that. All right, this next post is, my DM thinks he isn't God. Long story short, he created a big world and it's pretty cool and unique, but there is one thing that I think is holding the campaign back a little bit. First of all, he tends to over-prepare, which isn't all that bad, but there is a travel mechanic. Each player rolls dice to move X amount of squares on a map. He then rolls for a random scenario, or possibly nothing, and then we roll to move again, etc., until we reach the destination. He said he wanted to know what players want, so I was honest and said that holds him and the players back. I want to walk through the woods, explore and explain what is around. If you want some random scenario to occur, just make it happen. You're the god. Then he just denied that. He said, well, how would you guys even have come across this creature that he made if you hadn't rolled for it? You make it happen, God. You are God. He's relying too much on his loot tables and scenario tables, and we don't get to roleplay as we travel. The purpose of this post, give you some backup.
Okay. So this Dungeon Master clearly just doesn't like to improvise, and that's totally fine. Like, only doing, hey, I've got a random rolling table and my session planned out, and I know everything that's on this random rolling table, and we just go with that.
Yep.
Like, fine. That's the way you want a Dungeon Master. That's the way you feel comfortable Dungeon Mastering. You do that.
Yep.
But I understand, because I wouldn't enjoy that personally.
I wouldn't.
Doesn't mean it's the wrong way to play.
No,
I want to. Hey, we stop the cat and there's a bit of a spooky wood next to us. Hey, I wander into the woods. Okay. And I would just, me as a Dungeon Master, if I didn't have that planned, I'd just think of something.
Yeah.
And just like, okay, you want to go in stealthily? Okay. Oh, you failed your stealth checker. There is something shifting in the woods. And I'll just, because I've got a decent knowledge of the monster manual or what might be in the woods in this part of my world.
Hey, that one.
Yeah. I'll just make something up and we can have a little combat if we want, and I can just make up a map in 5 seconds, like on Tailspire. It doesn't matter. But I understand there's a lot of people who hear that and would just be like, nope.
Yeah, totally.
Would panic with the fact that they don't have it planned.
Yeah, and you know what? I also think there's something to be said about, the DM saying, hey guys, like, can I equivalent of like stars and wishes, I guess. Like, hey guys, what do you want to see? And I think there's also something to be said where if your players are saying, because you have all the right, by the way, to tell your DM if there's something that, maybe you think something you're personally not enjoying, that's totally okay to tell the DM that and see if there's a way around, especially if the DM has asked. I think there's also something to be said about, potentially just trying it and see how you feel.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, just because you try something doesn't mean you have to do it. But at the same time, I also respect the fact that if you're not comfortable with it, why would you try it,
Yeah, but I think that, I'm always a proponent, and this is just me personally, it doesn't mean that you should do this, of trying everything once.
Yeah.
Because there's some things that, hey, I tried this. I didn't like this, but I did like this aspect of it. Now I'm going to add that into my game. You okay? What?
Heroin. Not heroin. Not heroin.
I'm talking about D&D. But
sorry.
yeah, like, I am a low prep dungeon master.
Yeah.
And I am pretty flexible. And I'm pretty good at like improvising and stuff like that. And that's just what works for my game. And that's just what works for me. And I have talked to people who...
I have. Sorry. I have
talked to people who are a little bit burnt out in D&D and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, it might not be, but you could be planning too much. You could be prepping too much.
100%. You could be actually trying to stick to something you've heard and go, that's the right way to do it. When actually the right way to do it is the right way for you, and that's different for everyone.
I remember we were talking to our mod Adam who got burnout, and he was like, I've been like writing like 3,000 words per session. Yeah. And I said to him, don't do it in a session that matters. Like, you got this really big session coming up, wait until after. Yeah. After that session, just plan nothing.
Yeah, and see how you go.
And improvise, and let your players know that you're doing it.
Totally.
And then they played the session, and Adam was like, hey, I'm not I don't think I'm a
no prep DM. Yeah.
But like, I'm definitely lowering the amount that I've prepped.
Certainly.
Because hey, might I run a slightly less concise session? Yeah. But will I be able to dungeon master consistently because I'm not burnt out? Yeah.
And does it matter? Does anyone care?
No.
Like,
no one cares.
Again, this all goes all the way back to if you have your players in their seats, logged
Bums
in Discord,
seats.
It means they're having a great time.
Yeah. Why? Like, I cancelled D&D this week, and the cries of anguish that they didn't get to play this week made me feel good, because they were like, man,
they love me. They
were like, oh yeah, I'm like, get better soon and stuff like that, but I am devistated for not playing. And I'm like, man, that makes me feel good. Like, we're coming right to the end of the campaign, and we already know it's like coming in for the next campaign and stuff like that, and we all want to like get it over the line because we're all excited for the end of the campaign, but we're all excited for the next campaign. And it's just, sometimes you just need that reminder that it's just like, who cares? Everyone's just enjoying themselves.
Yeah, of course. So I think this is actually a really tough situation, because this is a case of a DM has a style and doesn't want to change from that style, and has
fine,
and rightly so.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to, but at the same time, you've asked the players what they want, and the players come forward and said this.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I actually don't really know what the...
I think there's give and take here.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, I'm not going to do exactly that, but I'll try bits.
Yeah, how about we try
and
session
see what happens.
Totally.
A little bit of a compromise.
Yeah. And, I think the statement of, you can make anything happen because you're a god, I think that... Which, like, yeah, of course, you can do whatever you want as the DM. That doesn't mean that you haven't put a structure in place for how you want things to plan out. Yeah. Because, yes, of course, your players are going to dictate, for the most part, where the story moves. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, you as the DM, you're the one who has to make the thing happen.
Yeah.
So, I think saying, you're a god, you can do anything is potentially slightly unfair.
Yeah, it's unfair, and it's a little bit like... It is a little bit unfair, I think, because...
Yeah, and I think this comes from internet discourse of, I'm the DM, so I'm pretty much a god.
Yeah, which, by the way, isn't true. You're a storyteller.
Yeah, and you're a player. You're just as much of a player as a table.
Yeah, but you're a storyteller. Yeah. You're the narrator of the campaign. You tell people what happens, where they go. You aren't God. You can't just make things happen.
Yeah.
Like, that's not how it is.
Yeah, it really isn't. It really isn't. Yeah, I really, really hope there wasn't an update on this. I really, really, really hope that OP and DM and their whole party came to some sort of conclusion here, right?
Yeah.
Because it listen, I wouldn't want to play in a system like that, but that doesn't mean that people wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know?
I think there's loads of people who couldn't give a fuck as long as they turned up playing D&D and there's stuff planned, they are just happy to play.
Yeah, totally.
Some people want something a little bit more loose, and some people do like a little bit more of a structure. It's just depending. You just need the right place for the right table. That's all.
I completely agree. This is the penultimate. This is long, but it's because there's a lot of context in it. Okay, all right,
hit me.
The title is "A Boss Just Got Cheesed and My DM is Furious."
Oh.
So for context, our party is level 10 and was tasked with helping defend against an invasion force. Through some research and recon, we discovered that the invasion was being made on 2 fronts, land and air. Because our party has both an airship and a storm sorcerer, we decided to aid against the air attack. So the fight starts. We got surprised by about a dozen wyverns, modified from raw stats, about 30 if I remember correctly, each with riders that were hiding in the rain clouds. It was also very windy and there's hail, so going out onto the main deck of the ship means getting fucked by the elements.
Mm-hmm.
So we're fighting the good fight, busting wyvern balls, everyone's taking a fair amount of damage, and we're dishing it right back. No biggie. Now, because of the sheer numbers, combat did start to slog a little bit. Now, are they saying that they said there was about a dozen wyverns, but then they said modified from raw stats about 30? Are they saying that there was 30 wyverns?
Yeah, there might be 30 wyverns, but a dozen riders.
Got you.
Maybe. Like, some wyverns are just loose and some will have the riders.
Got you.
Maybe.
Combat's starting to slog a little bit. I think over the course of 3 hours, we only got through 2.5 rounds of combat. Our DM was clearly getting a little overwhelmed. Anyway, at some point in the fight, the general from the attacking army enters. He is a level 20 fighter, can fly, and has flyby, which means he doesn't trigger opportunity attacks.
Yeah.
The boss is doing what any smart commander would do, popping in, dealing a ton of damage, and then leaving.
Yeah.
Now, my character is an abjuration wizard. Because of the wind and hail, ranged attacks are being fucked, as is our vision. So, not a lot of options. So, I resorted to summoning a draconic spirit and sending it after the boss.
Mm-hmm.
Shortly after doing this, some wyverns started to box me in. Understandable. To be fair, it was the only way they could enter, and it just so happened to fuck me over too, so it was a win-win for them. No biggie. I misty step away, and then I start booking it away from the action because I need to maintain my concentration.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like getting gang-banged by a shit ton of flying wizards.
True.
Lizards. Lizards. They're the wizard.
Hey.
Those are the lizards. Hey. On the next general's turn, he sees me alone and very realistically decides to attack me. He does his thing. Action surges to do it again, and I go from full plus arcane wand to 3 HP.
Arcane ward,
yes. And this is where the cheese comes up. At this point, the wyverns that the party is dealing with is starting to make some progress, and we're all about to be boxed in between the wyverns and the general. So I, not really coming up with anything better to do, decide to put the boss in a wall of force. Simple as that. Boss is stuck in there. The party cleans up and the rest of the wyverns in a couple of turns, and then the bard proceeds to vicious mockery the boss for the remaining 10-minute duration of Wall of Force. RDM is fuming the entire time. And I don't mean, oh no, my boss fuming. I mean he is full red-faced and pissed. He starts calling how bullshit the spell is. He's not entirely wrong. And how it completely takes any enemy that can't teleport out of a fight. Also not wrong. All without requiring a saving throw. He tells me that we're going to nerf that spell later, which is his right, and he is generally very upset. The table was just kind of silent, with the exception of a few of the more veteran players saying a few things here and there during the rant. I didn't really say much, to be honest. I just kind of zoned out. To say the mood was ruined was an understatement. We ended the session there after we passed around the loot. To be honest, I'm not really sure what my original point is in writing this. I kind of just needed to say it, I guess. I asked one of the more veteran players if I should apologize, and he said no. I don't know. This DM is a really good friend of mine, and I've never seen him this upset before. I think he's just had a tough week, honestly.
Is this the last story I'm going to hear about a dungeon master unexpectedly getting their boss Wall of Forced in?
Hey,
and
we've all seen it. We've seen it. We have certainly seen a boss get Wall of Forced.
Look, it happens. And, like, this is just an experience thing.
Yeah.
This is just an experience. This is learning what your players have and don't have.
Certainly.
And prepping. The thing is, you don't just want to directly counter it all the time, because then it's just like, then what's the point of the spell?
Yeah.
What's the point in taking the spell? What's the point in preparing it?
Yeah.
But every now and then, having a disintegrate to smash through it.
Yes.
Having a counter spell prepared.
Yes.
Getting out of range of it, or
Yes.
having a teleport.
Let me, you know what? For those who don't know what Wall of Force is, let me really quickly read the spell out, just so you have a reference of what we're talking about when we say Wall of Force. It's a 5th level spell. It's 120 feet. It's a concentration of 10 minutes. An invisible wall of force springs into existence at a point you choose. The wall appears in any orientation you choose as a horizontal or vertical barrier at an angle. It can be free-floating or resting on a solid space. You can form it into a hemispherical dome or a sphere with a radius of up to 10 feet, or you can shape a flat surface made up by a 10 by 10 foot panel. Each panel must be contiguous with another panel.
Contiguous? Continuous.
Contiguous with another panel.
Is that the word?
Yeah, contiguous.
I don't know, I've ever heard the word contiguous.
So basically, nothing can pass through the wall. It is immune to all damage, and it cannot be dispelled by dispel magic. A disintegrate spell destroys the wall instantly. However, the wall also extends into the ethereal plane, blocking ethereal travel through the wall.
Yeah, so you can't just fucking cast like blink or anything like that.
You can basically just go a sphere and just what
that
sounds like happened here. They put the general in the sphere.
And this is why Vicious Mockery can still do damage.
Because you can see through it.
Because there's nothing traveling to the enemy.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like things like something that would launch a projectile would just crash against it.
Yeah.
That's why.
So, just in case you didn't know what Wall of Force did, and we have seen this. We have literally seen this.
And...
from the cheesiest player we've ever met.
Yeah.
And after the fact, when it was over, they said, that actually wasn't that fun, actually, because I did that.
And here's the thing, it's just like that player, cheesiest player I've ever played with.
Yeah, oh, totally.
I don't play with that player again because they're such a cheeser. And they would sap a lot of fun out of every single combat. And that's what they did to this combat. There was 2 quite dangerous enemies that we were fighting. And he just went, I'm Wall of Forcing that one in. Let's just kill this one. And then I'll drop the Wall of Force and then we'll kill that one. And it was just boring. And it's just like, it's a viable tactic. I get it.
Yeah.
And I if somebody did it in my game, I'd be totally fine with it.
Yeah.
But like sometimes it can get a little boring when it happens. I like to sometimes Wall of Force allies in, so nothing can get to them.
They can actually
heal them to full.
Yeah.
Then we can drop the Wall of Force and reset and stuff like that. It's a viable tactic if you do it. If somebody did it at my table, I'm totally fine with it. But it's the like when this player was doing it, they were like laughing at the dungeon master and stuff like that in our game.
Oh my gosh!
And
yeah.
It's just it can get a little rough and cheesy.
Now, I must say, at this point, you've been doing combat for 3 hours.
2.5 hours, 3 hours.
Yeah, you've gotten through 2 rounds. Everyone's looking bad. The wizard, which is OP, has separated themselves so they don't drop concentration, so they're alone. The general has found them alone. They're getting boxed in alone. Like, I don't actually necessarily think at this point
I don't think it's bad at all.
Bad decision.
I think it's a great decision. I actually think it's a really, really great tactic.
Yeah.
It's a last chance, like, I can't do anything else.
I'm gonna die here. Because 12, let's say 12 wyverns closing in on one player on 3 health.
Yeah.
They're going to permanently die.
Yeah,
because they're just going to get attacked.
Yeah.
And
over again.
I think the way that OP has said this has actually been said in a very respectful way.
Yeah.
It wasn't me interjecting, being like, it's the DM's choice, rightly so. That is actually what OP has written. OP is like, rightly so, the general was smart and was fighting this way and targeted me because I was alone.
This is the thing. For me, okay, this combat did exactly what it needed to do. People are low.
Yeah.
It went for a long time. It was very dangerous. We've burnt a lot of resources. It's a 5th level spell at level 10. It's just like, what do you have? I think you don't have 6th level spells yet. That's a level 11, isn't it? You don't have 6 level spells yet, I don't think. I think that's level 11.
At level 10. No, you don't have 6 level spells at level 10.
No, yeah.
Do you? I can never remember.
I remember Runarian always tells me.
Yeah, Runarian tells us how
like,
this works. It's something, it's double the spell -1.
Oh, -2, isn't it?
6th. No, that would make sense, because 6 times 2 is 12, -1 is 11.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. I can never remember.
That could be totally so
But, you know,
wrong.
even if so, 5th level spell at that point is a big resource to burn.
Yeah.
Is this the last fight? Maybe not. So then this combat's done its job. But the thing is, where the Dungeon Master, in my opinion, is in the wrong, is we're nerfing this spell afterwards. No.
Yeah, you're just frustrated in the moment, which, by the way, you're very valid in feeling frustrated.
But I don't even think the combat's done exactly what it needed to do.
I agree.
I think at this point, instead of saying we're nerfing that spell after this, it's okay. I now know that that's a viable tactic that you do.
Totally.
So my next enemy might be able to teleport. My next enemy might have counterspell. Might have disintegrate.
Yeah.
Or might have a way to cast through it.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Like learning and adapting to our players is what we do, not nerfing things.
Yeah, I agree. I think what happened was the DM was just blindsided by this.
Yeah.
And I think whenever you get blindsided, whether it was intentional or not, you can have that defense mechanism where you do go into this. Oh man,
this spell's rubbish.
This is bullshit. Which, you know, to be fair, to a certain degree, yes, the spell is bullshit.
The spell's always been problematic.
Yeah. Like
this and Force Cage.
This is again, we will all have an experience where someone has used Wall of Force and it's absolutely ruined the combat.
It's just or like cast Resilient Sphere on something and just trapped something inside.
Yeah.
And then dealt with everything else and then dropped it and then just nuked the thing.
We've all been there. There is some important updates.
Go on.
If you want to hear them.
Yeah.
Update. Hot damn, this took a turn. Okay, I've got a few things to say. As frustrating and immature as he was, this DM is my good friend, and I would appreciate if you could stop trashing him. He is just a human just like all of us. I took a lot of your advice and I talked to him. We had a heart-to-heart, and while he doesn't think he's going to retcon the fight, he's going to let it stand as it is, he does plan on addressing how he's going to rule the spell in future and see how everyone feels about it and then work from there. He also admitted that due to it being late, him having a tough week and the fight being way more complicated than he expected, he was just really frustrated. All in all, I think everything is looking good for the future.
Fine. This is me personally, and it's just me, and I understand if you want to do it. Like, you can nerf the spell if you want. That's up to you. It's your game. Totally fine. I would just put in enemies that can deal with it.
Yeah, and, you know, I think it's such a situational thing.
Yeah.
You know, and to be fair, I think especially after the heart-to-heart, OP is probably going to be, if they're ever going to use it again, let's be real, they're probably going to be very, very reserved with when they use it, and only in moments they need to, which I would argue that moment was a moment they needed it. I think. Like, I don't. From what I'm getting here, I don't think OP did it to be cheesy and be like, haha, fuck you.
Yeah. It was. I'm about to die. I need to do something.
I agree. And you know what? I really appreciate OP being like, hey, look, my friend was just frustrated, and he's my friend. So can you stop being fucking awful?
Yeah.
Now
there is just dogpiling on the Dungeon Master. And it's like, the thing is, I guarantee the first time, you know, some people get surprised by Wall of Force and they don't know how to deal with it. They do feel frustrated.
Totally.
But then it's just learning how to deal with it the next time. Like, this Dungeon Master isn't the first and won't be the last person surprised by a spell that's a little bit broken.
Yeah, and I agree with OP.
Yeah.
You know, that DM was immature about it, and the DM went the wrong way about it. You know, to the point where maybe you should never get to the point where you're yelling at each other, in my opinion. And, you know, getting red-faced and yelling, and it dampened the mood, which is absolutely on the DM, by the way.
100%.
That is absolutely on the DM. And the DM, you know, as valid as they are and being frustrated, you shouldn't act like that.
You should.
And, you know, at the same time, you know, if you post something on Reddit, people are going to dogpile. Like, unfortunately, that's.
Hey, it's the internet.
Yeah. It doesn't mean it's right. And it doesn't mean that they deserve it, because they don't. But you know what? Oh, bless you.
Man.
You know what?
I'm poorly sick.
At the end of the day, DM was just having it was late. They had a bad week.
They got surprised.
They were frustrated. We are literally human.
Yeah.
I don't think OP I don't think that was a bad move from OP at all. I think that was actually a very good move that probably saved their life.
I would do it again.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think? Any further thoughts?
No, I've said it before. It can be a bit of a cheesy spell and using the cheesy way, and in this way it was, but at the same time it saved this player's life. The Dungeon Master should be like, oh, hey, that spell was annoying.
The DM has every right to be like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah, because it's annoying. It's just like when a really scary fight is like completely dismantled by a singular spell that you weren't prepared for, it can be annoying because you put hours into preparing this fight, building up this general as a bad guy, and then for it to get undone by a 5th level spell does feel bad. I understand the frustration.
Totally.
But it's just that as a Dungeon Master, and I always say this, instead of coming away from that fight, come away from that fight frustrated, fine. Like, you got undone in that moment. It's just like, it's going to happen to us. It doesn't matter. Like, just now know, okay, they've got that spell prepared.
And then I'm prepared for that.
I'm not going to have a counter every combat because that would feel bad. But I'm gonna have a counter for some combats.
Certainly.
Some really important combats, I'm going to have a counter.
Certainly. Here he is. The big man.
The sausage.
Oh, hello.
Say bullies the sausage down in the comments.
All right, this is the last one before we get onto the art.
Woo!
So this is titled Yet Again. My players outsmarted me, and yet again I am very proud.
Yeah.
My players are battling against let this man get up here. Let this man get up here.
Oh.
You have things to say, bully?
I have opinions I want to share.
My players are battling against a secret organization, a real political/social intrigue story. The thing is, the bad guys are smart too. Each of their members with decently important information is tattooed with an arcane glyph that goes off if they reveal important secrets or they have the intent to, and it kills them.
Nice, I like it.
Kind of a cyanide pill to prevent leaked information. I like that. That is
really cool.
That is cool. One of my players thought of this, and I hinted that yes, that might indeed be the case. They proceeded, unbeknownst to me, to craft an absolutely brilliant plan. I was informed of this idea just hours before the session, and I was very impressed. Here's the thing. They captured the bad guy, and when they went to interrogate him, they polymorphed him into a rat. Rat form means no glyph. No glyph means doesn't die. But how do you interrogate a rat? And that's when they cast Speak with Animals. Completely circumventing the cyanide pill, allowing them to interrogate fully. An incredibly genius move, and one they had pulled off excellently. I am so impressed. They got a ton of useful information, and honestly, they deserved some extra XP, milestone XP at least, for that move. Anyway, I just wanted to share.
That's it. Like, and the thing is, in this moment, you could have been like, "Nah, it still works because it's still on the purse." Like, it's just like. But the thing is, what you would have done there is like they've captured somebody.
Yeah,
they've taken them somewhere.
They've thought about it.
They've thought about it.
Out of session.
they have taken everything that you have said as a dungeon master,
all of your hints and notes,
and they have used that to craft and formulate a plan.
Totally.
Then used 2 spells. Yeah. A 4th level spell and what, a 2nd level spell?
I think Speak with Animals is first level spell.
They've used 2 leveled spells to just get some information. It doesn't mean it's going to crack the case wide open.
Definitely
but they get another piece of the breadcrumb, which leads them to the next place.
Which makes it just slightly easier for them because they've used they've listened to you. I think this is a great example of your players really listening and really thinking. And they care.
They care. Definitely. They want to know the information so badly. They want to progress the story.
And they're thinking about it.
They're thinking about it. It's like, at this point as a dungeon master, if you didn't give them it, it's just like, in my humble opinion, you don't want them to succeed.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I agree with what OP says here. Honestly, they deserve some extra XP for it. You know, I'm not necessarily agreeing with that, but I agree with the fact that they're like,
if you want to, we should.
I'm going to reward them for doing this, for thinking about this. I know that there are some DMs out there who'd be like, oh, you've just cheesed that. But no. Look at the bigger picture. They've done it all. They've thought. They've obviously talked because this was before the session. So they've talked outside of the game and they've worked out a plan. They've looked at each other's resources and they've gone, how are we going to get this information? And they've done it. They care. And there's a comment that I think is a really nice comment on here. I'm so glad for you that they trusted you enough to tell you ahead of time so you weren't completely blindsided. and so glad for them that they could trust you not to take that information and spend those hours figuring out how to ruin their
how
plans.
to counter it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. It's just like there's so many times where players don't want to tell the dungeon masters.
Yeah.
Because the dungeon master will just take that information and be like, oh God, how do I get around this? It's just like, you don't want them to succeed. If you're trying to find any way to counter it.
How do I make sure they don't do this?
How do I make sure that they don't progress the story? How do I make sure that they don't? It's just like, let them. I remember there was a point in my campaign where you had garnered some information and then you all did something with that information. And then I was so... It wasn't that I was taken back, but I was so like, man, they care so much about my like game that they're like going out of the way to do this thing that would be maybe taboo in the open world in my game. And I gave you a level up because of it.
Oh, yes. Well, yeah. I mean, we can say it.
Yeah. You basically pray. The devil in my world isn't actually a devil.
Yeah, they were equal god.
They were a god, but they were a god of things that maybe seemed... they were a god of death, god of illness, god of sickness, god of night, and things like that. And they had been painted out to be a devil for so long, and then you'd found out that wasn't true, like through many, many like plot lines and stuff like that. And you all offered something to this god. Mm-hmm. You'd like took a ritual out of these books that you'd found and created a dark flame and like given your wedding ring or something like that, or like given things and offered it to this god. And I was like, this is such a big moment. I'm actually just going to give you a level up.
Yeah.
Because I want it to mean something to you.
Because it meant something to us. Like, it was a really important story beat. And it was Matthew. Matthew was like, because the whole plot of his story is every calendar year, every calendar end even, someone sacrifices their life. They become the sacrifice to this thing called the Everflame, which basically keeps the city safe, and it was gifted by the gods.
Yeah, keeps the nasty away.
We have to give a human life to show how important it is. And we learned that wasn't the case, and that there was this other flame, and we were like, well, we should sacrifice something to it. Not our lives, certainly not, but we should sacrifice something to it and just see if this god, it's enough to give them the strength to stay, and yeah, it was an important moment to us. And I think, going back to this comment, like, what a great table that everyone trusts each other so much. The players trust their DM and to not try and ruin it, and the DM's created an environment where they know they can trust the DM.
Yeah,
I think this is a great. I think I just thought that was a really nice one.
And like, this is the thing. So when you guys are thinking out like ways around like puzzles that I put in or like situations that I put in, you just talk openly at the table, like amongst each other, that I can hear as well, because you know that I wouldn't want to, like. It would be so counterintuitive and so problematic for me to hear you guys say things and then be like, man, I need to counter that. It's just like, because then what's the point in the puzzle? What's the point in the story if it's not going to get solved, if it's not going to get finished?
Yeah. And I do think, especially for a lot of new DMs, the knee-jerk reaction is to be like, how do I counter this? Because you want to give your players a challenge, because you don't want to you feel like there's a lot of discourse around, for DMs being like, don't just give them the answers, make them work for it. And I agree to some degree, but not a blanket statement like that. I think DMs feel like their players have to work for it. But so they hear a plan and they go, okay, well, how do I make them work for it with this plan? But that plan is actually them working for it,
That is exactly it. Like, them thinking about what you've put in front of them and trying to find ways around it, trying to find ways to solve it, like, what's the word? When it's not the norm. Unconventional. It's like, I love unconventional plans because we're really like maybe taking spells and like twisting their meaning or something like that. And okay, fine, if that's the case, let's roll an Arcana check or roll like a spell modifier check to see if we can get this spell to do this thing that it's not supposed to. It's like, I love that. And we should reward that. Like, thinking and considering what the Dungeon Master's put in front of us. I love that so much.
Is he all right?
Yeah, he's just grumbling.
He's grumbling.
He'll want his...
Yes, I see. Yeah, I just thought that was a really nice one.
I think
that was really cool.
good.
I think what a great table, and that is a great mindset for a DM to be in.
Great mindset.
You want your players to succeed.
You want them to
you want to make it hard for them, but you want to make them succeed.
You want them
Certainly.
to. You want them to uncover more of the plot, more of the story. Give them the things that you've worked so hard on.
Certainly. I agree. Right. So these are. Could you put your arm down? These are the art pieces.
Art time.
Art. So this first
art
one,
time.
This is simply titled Dead Dragon Cave.
Cool.
This has been done by Lone Mapper. They have a Patreon, which we will of course link below.
Yeah.
And they have said, hello everyone, I share my one version of my Dead Dragon Cave map. I hope you like it.
I do like it.
This is a cave where a giant dragon died many, many years ago. And the robbers discovered the gold, but their greed played a bad joke. Their bones, still covered in rags, lay with ugly open jaws in the darkness of the cave. I light the torches and scattered treasures glow enticingly. But the dragon is scary, even dead. I have a bad feeling. The bats start screaming, and strange sounds come out from the depths of the cave. On my Patreon, you will find 6 more versions of this map, as well as access to all of my other maps.
Yeah.
And once again, this is Lone Mapper on Patreon, and you can see the bodies, like the skeletons of the robbers.
Of the robbers, yeah.
And you know what?
The gold scattered around the room.
I love the mystery of, hey, the dragon's dead. It's been dead for a long time, but you feel weird in here.
Yeah, it's like...
There's strange noises in here.
It's like there's 2 things. Did someone kill the dragon?
Yeah, what killed the dragon?
Or did the dragon die of old age and something's...
Yeah. Is there a curse in here that slowly killed the dragon?
Yeah.
Again, you know, the whole dragons and gold and greed, you know? You can see the dragon sat on a pile of gold. You can see in the middle of its twisted tail, there is a chest. Like, I don't know. I just think that gives you so many options. Undead dragon time. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum bum ba-dum ba-dum bum.
Little Draco Lich.
Yeah, literally.
Little Draco-Lich.
You know, and again, even if that's not the case, what's in this cave?
What is in this
What's
cave?
in this cave?
What? Did something curse the dragon? Did something kill the dragon?
Why did the robbers die?
Yeah, why did the robbers die?
I think there is so much mystery.
Yeah, I love it.
And that just gets the creative juices flowing, honestly.
That's it for a campaign that just likes to like go on an adventure and stuff like that. It's like I don't know, they go to a town and there's a couple of like I don't know, maybe a mother is worried about her like bandit son because like, you know, he got himself into the wrong crowds and he went up to the cave up on the hill.
She's like, he would have been wearing this.
Yeah.
He has this necklace on.
And then you go up and then you find this cave and you find the necklace on the skeleton. And it was only a week ago. It's a skeleton already. What's like done that? Just like, you know, I mean, just like just seeing a map that creates 1 story, 2 stories, 3 stories, 4 stories, 5 stories.
Oh my God.
I just love it.
I know. And by the way, incredibly done. It goes without saying.
Art is unbelievable.
Gorgeous map.
I love maps like that.
And there's 6 versions of them.
6
versions of it.
Go check out that Patreon.
Please do. Patreon.com/Lone Mapper. We will leave the links below.
Yeah.
Gorgeous work.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous work.
It reminds me of a Chip Echo map.
It reminds me of a Chepeku map as well.
Which is sick.
Yeah, I beautiful, gorgeous. All right, this next one.
I want to know the context behind this next one because I've seen the picture but I have no context.
So, the title of this is, trust me, this will hit way harder than a vicious mockery. Assuming we can stretch this combat to about 14 rounds. Anyway, this is the great thing about the caricature bard is you can roleplay him in between rounds with a scrap of paper. The even better thing about this is this only becomes more viable the worse you are at drawing.
Okay.
This particular example is Bartholomew Nathaniel Dysworth, a man who, despite his fiercest attempts, could not master the recorder to save his life.
Okay.
He makes a surprisingly competent bard, not counting the disadvantage on initiative rolls, to set up his easel. If you're looking for more material like this, I've got an Instagram, which I promise I remember to update all the time, and a Ko-fi gallery with links for commissions, comments, donations, or whatever your inner patron of the art yearn for. And their Instagram is Tony Murchison Art, and it's just a bard drawing a terrible image of a bear.
What is it? Do they draw what's happening in the combat, or do they draw something and it comes alive?
I think this is just a joke. It's like, this will hurt way more than vicious mockery. And they're just drawing a really terrible image of a bear.
Bad drawing. Oh, man. I think they get a disadvantage on initiative rolls to just set up the easel so they can paint and draw.
Well, everyone's getting mauled.
Yeah.
I just think, just funny. Just,
Love
you
it.
know what? Just, and a gorgeous piece of artwork,
great.
obviously.
The art is spectacular.
Gorgeous piece of artwork.
Very good, very fun. Very cutesy, very demure.
Really funny. You know what? I can imagine Matthew playing a character like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is Matthew's
He'd
type of
play
character.
something silly like this.
Yeah, certainly. Once again, they are Tony Murchison Art. We'll of course leave their links below.
Link down below.
And that's it.
And that's it, gamers.
That's the episode. That's
Thank
all
you
you
so
get.
much for being here.
That's your fill. What did you think of the new set? What did you think?
I think it looks great.
Yeah,
I'm really happy with it.
I do too. I'm interested to see what the TikToks are going to look like, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like how much you're going to see.
I want to see how much of the dog is in it.
Yeah, he's got a real stanky leg right now. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, he's got a little chicken leg.
He's got a little chicken leg.
Little chicken leg hanging off.
Yep, chicken drumstick.
Little chicken drumstick.
Yep. Anyone order some drumsticks? Right here.
Right here.
Right here.
Thank you so much for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. All the good stuff goes a million miles to help the video. Hit the bell to be notified when we upload a new video. Come join us on Twitch every Friday, every Sunday, every other Tuesday. Take a little look at our schedule, see if there's anything that you fancy on there.
Yeah.
The 2-player TTRPG that we will be running live is on the 20th of October, so come and check that out. Check out some merch, www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Check out the Patreon in the description for more exclusive content if you can't get enough of the Eldritch Podblast. Thank you so much for being here. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you very much.
Yeah.
We have been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Thursday. Bye.
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities:
Hoobs,
Ariel,
Tula,
Runarian,
Arkham Labs Cosplay,
Maddie, Luna,
Teddysaurus,
Caspian, J-Spot,
Ultrafail,
Dallin M,
Sleepy,
Joe Dragonlord 2,
Alistar,
Lawkeeper Society,
Ricky B,
Danny Phantom,
Catherine,
Faustskin,
Azuriel,
Panda Queen Plays,
Xylo Boy,
Lucas Iapetus,
Luna River,
Ruined Rivers.
Christomancy,
The tacos are here.
Gavin.
Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.